Hello, and welcome to the Ottawa Black Seniors Virtual Living Network project, brought to you by Jaku Konbit and Flow Seniors. This project is a synopsis of programs and services that are available for Black seniors in the National Capital Region and across Ontario. This project is built upon the established track record of leadership, knowledge, program excellence, and good stewardship of Jaku Konbit, Flow Seniors, and our community partners, geared towards supporting health and wellness among our seniors, especially during this very difficult time of COVID-19. Our goal are to provide a safe and welcoming online space for our seniors, as well as the opportunity and services they stay active during this time of social health. Jaku Konbit the Call Me Let's Start program run and involve a number of activities ranging from guest speakers, games, cheer exercise classes, to the delivery of cultural meal once a week to our seniors. This is a work in progress, and we will continue to build and enhance our programs, as well as to provide available resources for Black seniors in our community and across Ontario. Asante Sana.
Thank you, Ken. Flow Seniors is quite happy to be working with Jaku Konbit on this Ottawa Virtual Seniors Active the Network project. It is quite a mouthful, I know. We are happy that we can be of outreach not only to our seniors, but to other community groups that are providing for seniors. Flow Seniors also works with the Bronson Center and the Bronson Safe Open Project, which provides activities for seniors during the week as well, Monday to Friday, which complements some of the programs that Jaku Konbit is doing. Together, both groups are working well to help the seniors during this COVID time and have a virtual living network. The network extends to Toronto, Montreal, and further out. I feel that this program can be a linkage for all of us to work together as one. So thank you to all the other community organizations that have come on board with this project as well. Thank you so much.
And I am Sarah Nyango, and I'm going to be speaking with Sheila Pitt.
Hello.
Hi, Sheila.
It's a pleasure to be here.
Yes.
See you again.
Thank you for coming. So can you just give us a bit of background about yourself?
Well, I'm a Guyanese. I came from Guyana in 1965. And I worked with the federal government in the three levels of government, the federal, the city, and the region at the time.
Mm-hmm.
I was married. I have 3 adult children, all boys,
Mm-hmm.
which is wonderful. My husband passed away a few years ago.
Mm-hmm.
I live in Nepean. I live in a seniors residence, which I'm very happy about.
Mm-hmm. Yes, and you've been involved in the community as well as working your full-time job?
Yes, I have been. I have been doing a lot of volunteer work.
Mm-hmm.
In years 70, 80, in those years, I was heavily involved in the African Caribbean pageant. Also, with the as a pioneer for the Martin Luther King observance in January every year. And I did that for about 20 years. A lot with the help with a lot of people. But I was a pioneer. I also volunteered at the Nepean Seniors Management Board. I was director for a couple of years there, and with the Bar Haven Lions Club. I also volunteered at the Pearly Veterans Hospital, the Civic Hospital, and nursing homes.
Mm-hmm.
I
So
really,
very active. Yes. And
yes,
so, yes.
yes, I'm very active and I really enjoy it. Service is
Mm-hmm.
my passion. So after
Mm-hmm.
I retired, I took on these volunteer positions full time.
Yes. Yeah. And so, have you been participating in virtual programs targeting seniors?
Yes, I have been.
Mm-hmm.
And thanks be to God for Jaku Konbit. They were having these programs for seniors, the exercise program, which I decided to join. I think it's a real blessing to have that facility come right into your home. You don't have to go anywhere. It's so accessible. You meet new people, you make friendships.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's the Zoom meetings are here to stay.
So can you tell us more about the actual programs that you signed up to?
Yes, with Jaku Konbit, I signed up for the exercise class, which is marvelous. The instructor is wonderful. She makes you feel so comfortable, and she encourages you to go at your own pace. You don't have to do what she's doing, but do some kind of movement. Take full advantage of what is being presented to you. I also participate in the meal program, which is very good. And the food is very good, and it's wonderful to see Sean Nanette on Saturday. It's one way of getting some nourishment on a weekend as an older person when you don't feel like cooking, you know.
Mm-hmm. So what has all this virtual programming done for you, especially during this pandemic?
It has given me a new lease in life. So I'm not cooped up in the house doing nothing, because I cannot go out as I normally would have done. And it gives me an opportunity to meet people online, to experience different things.
Well, thank you so much, Sheila, for your time. And thank you for your many contributions to the community. Myself, I'm a beneficiary of the work you've done. I'm involved with the Martin Luther King Day and the Black History Ottawa, of which you are one of the founding members. So thank you very much. Thank you.
You're very welcome. It's a pleasure to chat with you. God bless you always. Bye-bye.
Bye. And hello, and today we are so happy to have with us Carmen. Hello. Hi. How are you?
I'm good, thanks.
How about you start off by introducing yourself and just giving us a little bit of background as to who you are and how you got to Canada and, you know, your career and that sort of thing.
Okay. Hello, my name is Carmen Jones. I'm a member of Jaku Konbit and one of the Flow Seniors members. I came to Canada in 1979 with the goodness of my sisters who were here before me. Came up with my son, and we've been here ever since. We get adjusted to the whole temperature and the lifestyle. So, you know, we make do. With the Flow Seniors group, which is what I have, you know, enjoyed for quite some time now. We do have quite a few, you know, stuff that they do have. The chair exercises, the information session, and this unique aspect of this is a meal delivery that we have started in 2020. The programs are done virtually, and we all enjoyed participating greatly each week. I find that having such variety of activities encourage us to always wanting more, and connecting with other elders is very comforting. I have also given quite a bit of my time to the community gardens that Jaku Konbit do have. This is a comforting zone for me and many others. At the garden, we do produce a vast amount of vegetables in the community garden. And with that, we do share the produce with our seniors and with the students that do help us in the summer. I enjoyed the group that we started off with, Jaku Konbit. And I see we're always looking forward to meeting weekly and enjoying the company of others with the Flow Seniors group. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So can we have just a bit more specifics about how you use the programming? So you talked about the exercise. Tell us about what you participate in and what you like about.
We do have the chair exercise and the information session that we have on Mondays on Zoom, of course, and we do have quite a bit of communication with the seniors like myself. The person who hosts the exercise program, her name is Diane. She's very good. And we sit, from 11:30 to 12:30 on Wednesdays and Fridays. Yeah, and we do enjoy it a lot, quite a bit. Yeah, we stretch our muscles quite a bit.
And you mentioned a food program?
Yes, we Jaku Konbit do have a meal program that is delivered every Saturday, and it helps the seniors to the seniors in the community.
Are you one of the recipients? Are you one of the people that use the program? Yeah. So what do you like about that one?
Well, the thing is, the chef who has prepared it, and the meal is mainly for West Indian style, and of course, the addition of other things sometimes. But we look forward to that, and it's just a break from the kitchen, I guess. And it's the amount that we do get lasts us for 2 days.
Oh wow,
it's quite a bit.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much, Carmen. And it's great. Welcome. It's great to see you out.
Thank you.
And continuing to smile and enjoy life in spite of.
Yeah, life is too short not to enjoy it.
Yes.
Too short not to enjoy it. That's the way I look at it. Yeah.
Indeed.
Thank you too.
Thank you so much.
You're quite welcome.
And hello, and right now we are so happy to welcome Margaret Saunders. And Margaret, hi. So can you just give us a bit of a backstory about yourself real quick and tell us how you got to Canada?
Okay, a backstory real quick. I was raised in New Jersey, a heavily agricultural area, part of New Jersey in the south, not far from Philadelphia. The Quaker religion was very prominent there, although I was raised Baptist, but I was always interested in the overlap between Baptists and Quakers. So that's probably where the interest initiated. I went to nursing school at Temple University, Health Sciences Center there, and then I married a man named Saunders, and we came to Canada the same day, and that was back in 1969. And on that day, there were about 2,000 of us in the Toronto anti-draft program. So we landed in Toronto and had trouble finding places to stay because there were so many. And eventually that launched my life in Canada.
Wow, what a story. Yeah. And so you settled in Toronto before you got to Ottawa?
Yes, it was in Toronto. We were chased a little bit. Well, he came up on the anti-draft program, and the police were giving us a hard time, and not just us, but all of the draft dodgers. And we were hiding in various churches and locations and whatnot. And it was quite exciting. If you look at it in retrospect, at the time, it wasn't what I wanted to be doing, but we did get into Canada, and we got to be landed, and we lived a good life, I think.
Mm-hmm. You said you were trained you took nursing. Is that the career that you ended up going into?
Yes, it was, but I did various things. Initially, I was in psychiatry, and then eventually I did another degree at Ottawa U. I did a degree at Ottawa U and then McGill, and specialized in psychiatric nursing. And I had at that time thought I would go into research, but I went back into teaching at the college level.
So let's talk about the Black Quakers, of which you are, the Quaker movement of which you are a part. I personally, you're the first Black Quaker I've ever met. Are there many of you in that movement?
No, there are not many of us. I think in all of Canada, there are, in the Canadian Yearly Meeting, there are roughly 1,300 members of the Canadian Quaker organization. And of that number, 3 are Black that I know of. There are two in Toronto and me.
Mm-hmm.
And that's about it. So that it doesn't surprise me that you don't know many of us, but the majority, the largest meeting that has the largest number of Black Quakers used to be in Burundi until the last war, and now it's in Kenya. And they have a different take on Quakerism, and their meetings are programmed with singing and sermons and things like that. Whereas in Canada, they're not. In Canada, they're unprogrammed, completely unprogrammed. So you sit in the room and wait on spirit for inspiration. And if you feel like singing a song, sing it. If people know it and want to sing with you, they will. If you want to offer a prayer, then you do that. So that's how it happens in Canada, but it's very different from how it happens in East Africa. So often when people move from East Africa to Canada, they sort of go a different way. They don't always join either Ottawa monthly meeting or the Toronto monthly meeting.
Mm-hmm. So I shouldn't assume, but you're retired now?
I am definitely been retired for about 12, 13 years.
Mm-hmm.
And retirement is the best part of life. So
okay, tell us about that.
Well, it's good because you get to get up when you want to get up. You get to do what you want to do when you want to do it. You don't have to negotiate. You have the whole week to plan to do what you want to do. And it's very nice to be retired. It's just wonderful to be retired. So.
Well, thank you so much, Margaret, for giving us your time and your contributions in your field, psychiatric nursing. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Bye-bye.
And hello, and today we are so happy to have with us Melka Kerr-Fauché. Melka?
Hi there, Sarah.
Hi, Melka. Can you just introduce yourself? Give us some background as to how and when you got to Canada, just a little tiny piece about your life, your career, and then we'll talk about how you're coping with this pandemic.
Okay, so came to Ottawa in 1971 as a nanny. And the person I was working with was really strange. So I decided, after 4 months, that's it, I'm out of here. I went home, went back to London. And then I came back again about a year later, because she kept on writing to me, and you gotta come back, the kids are missing you. But anyway, so I came back. This time I came landed, and my son followed me in about a year. So I came back and started doing HR type work in different offices until finally I settled in an office that was an insurance company. And I left that one, and then I worked at the Jamaican High Commission. I worked for Malmooney's head office, but I was never in that party. And then I started working for a short, well, fairly long time. It wasn't a short time. I worked for the government after that. So things were up and down for a while until I settled in. And different things have happened over the past. But I've been here for quite a long time. And one of the things that I started doing when I settled in my second job was to start volunteering. That's before I went to the High Commission. I started doing volunteering work. It's interesting, I think. Mm-hmm. And of course, when you hear other people's stories, people complain about being bored. And I think, how can you be bored? I'm never bored. In fact, I got too much to do. I need to stop, Yeah.
So why would you recommend the Jaku Konbit programs that you attend? Let's say you were talking to seniors. What would you say to them in recommending those programs?
I tried to get them to sign up. I said, okay, I'll put your name down for you. I'll sign you up, and you'll be given a tablet, and they'll instruct you how to use a tablet. I can't teach you because I'm just learning for myself. So someone will come over and teach you how to use a tablet. And it's really easy. All you have to do is hit some buttons and you'll be fine. Everyone will be talking. There'll be a whole bunch of us, like 33 or 35 people sitting talking together or doing exercise together, which is really great. Mm-hmm. And they like the exercise now. And especially when I tell them that we're also talking about old time stuff, Like someone talk about when they have a cold, what they'll do for that cold to get it better.
Oh, traditional remedies?
Traditional old time medicines, remedies.
Nice.
And so they'll come and join up just so they could give their input. Mm-hmm. Or we just talk about what we used to do as kids and so on and so forth back in the islands. So that, some of them have come on because of that. And Jaku also has a meal program last year. So they came on.
Yeah. Are you part of that meal program?
Yeah.
Do you use it?
Yes. Mm-hmm. Oh yeah. It's quite handy on a Saturday because it's kind of hard to cook enough for yourself. Or cook too much for yourself. But that's what I tend to do. Or you get fed up at doing more or less the same thing all the time. Mm-hmm. And then someone comes and do something else. So that's kind of easy. And it also has, it's a conversation piece with some of the people that I talk to.
Well, thank you so much, Melka, for your time and also for your many, many contributions to the community. I've seen you volunteer for many different events and activities over the years. And you're one of the people we look up to as community volunteer role models. So thank you very much.
It was nice talking to you.
Likewise. And hello, I'm Sarah Onyango, and today I am joined by Renford Thomas. Mr. Thomas, how are you?
I'm very well.
Could you introduce yourself and just give us a little bit of background so that we can get a sense of who you are and,
I'm Renford Thomas, a proud Jamaican who has chosen Ottawa as my home for quite some time now. I am quite involved in the community as a whole. I would consider myself to be a union activist, and I try to disturb as much as I can.
Yeah. So you've been in Ottawa for several decades, right?
It's going on 53 years. So
wow.
You can get a couple out of that, yes.
So when the pandemic hit, because I've seen you around the community a lot, you've been very, very active with different community associations. How did you handle that? How did you cope?
Being part of the union organization, I'm still a member of the ATU Local 279, which gives me the opportunity to be a member of the Ottawa District Labour Council. And between the union and the Labour Council, they keep me hopping, zooming.
So, apart from zooming, because that sounds like work, what have you been doing for relaxation and leisure?
A little more reading than I normally do, and a little more family-oriented activities. Visiting, so on and so forth. And of course, I still hook up with Jaku Konbit and to do some of their courses online, led by Dr. Ledberry.
Tell us about that, the virtual programming that you take part in.
Actually, I like it. It cuts down on my travel. I get to see the faces and interact. And we don't mingle per se, but we interact. And as if to say that we're connected from that sense. And I rather enjoy it.
What is it you like about Dr. Ledbetter's program?
Well, it started with the history, the world history of Africa. I am awakened and alarmed as to how much, as a person of African descent, I was not aware of. I also learned that a lot of what we have learned in the colonial system was actually stolen from us and refined to suit the colonization world.
What about the Jaku Konbit or Flow Seniors programs? Do you take any other of those programs?
Jaku Konbit and Flow Seniors combined, I have been involved with them almost from day one. Jaku Konbit, the main program that I enjoy there is the Kwanzaa, which seems to bring families together. And again, it doesn't cater to adults, it's to all generational sector, youth, children, so on and so forth. And I enjoy that greatly. With Flow Seniors, it's fairly new. However, it's putting down roots. And I think it's the kind of roots that we need in this community.
So in your mind, why is it important for older persons to be engaged in virtual programming the way you are, especially during this time?
I believe it cuts down on the loneliness. I believe it gives you a sense of being, that you can see your friends and interact with them. And at the same time, it saves on travel. So some of the wear and tear in that sense is lessened.
Well, thank you so much for your time. It's great seeing you, and keep up the good work with the union.
I'm going to try hard as I can.
Thanks.
Thank you as well.
Jaku Konbit and Flow's Seniors are two well-respected organizations here in Ottawa's Black community. These organizations are collaborating to bring valuable programs and services for Black seniors through the Ottawa Black Seniors Virtual Living Network, supported by the province of Ontario. The Ottawa Black Seniors Virtual Active Living Network project builds upon the established track record of leadership, knowledge, program excellence, and good stewardship of Jaku Konbit and Flows Seniors. Both organizations have been actively involved in enhancing needs of Black seniors during the COVID-19 pandemic. And I welcome you, June Gervin. You are a well-known leader and a community activist. As a leader in our community and current acting president of Black History Ottawa, you're known for so much more. Please tell us who you are.
Thank you for having me. And who am I? What I do is actually based on the who, why, what, when, where, and how I am. The who, what, when, where, how, and why of me. And so everything that I do in the community is expression of who I am. And I wear this necklace. You can see it. Mm-hmm. It's the Sankofa bird. And the Sankofa says, it's not too late to go back and fetch what you forgot, or learn what you did not know. And also, you've got to know where you're coming from in order to know where you're going. And so the Sankofa bird keeps me focused on my reason for being.
Thank you for sharing some insight into who you are. Let's transition with that art as a gift that takes you through your journey to the work that you do in the community. There is an organization that you have been part of for a very long time, and we're understanding that there's a connection to the United Nations Decade for People of African Descent. Tell us more about that.
Well, I started this journey into my community work as a young mother. And I sometimes refer to it as the grief of the womb. During slavery, there's a lot of what was happening during slavery was centered in the mother's womb. And when I was growing up, I remember my grandmother ripping up sheets to tie up women's bellies. Mm-hmm. Because when they hurt, when their children were hurt, when they couldn't take care of their children, they would hang on to their belly and say, my belly button dropping out. Mm-hmm. And so my grandmother would rip up these sheets to tie up these women's bellies to comfort them. And so my journey started when my belly button was dropping out in Ottawa, when my children were being disrespected because of the color of their skin. Mm-hmm. And that's what sent me into teaching. I managed to, good management and luck, I got into the system. And I went from teacher, I retired as a superintendent, not a superintendent, but a supervisory officer with the ministry. And all through my career then, it was protecting my children as best I could and protecting all children, what I call children of the maple leaf, children of all human colors of the sun. Mm-hmm. So when I retired, I founded the Nakira Dinkanish Education Center, Every Child is Sacred. Mm-hmm. And that's where I do my work from the center.
Mm-hmm. Thank you so much for sharing the insight, and I appreciate the championing. As we close our conversation, I would love for you to share with us the declaration that you had framed. Can you tell us a little bit about that, please?
Just also want to say that one of the things that we Caribbean folks don't always talk about, some people do, many of us don't, is that no matter how dark the color of our skin is, we do have some European ancestry, most of us. Mm. And we do carry a European name.
Yes.
And we do worship a European religion. And we were schooled in a European way. And so we have to sort of dialogue with that.
Yes.
So that we can come to terms with who we are, because it is, I know for myself, and I think I'm not unusual, I know that I carry intergenerational trauma over these things.
Mm-hmm.
And unless I face the truth about them, I can't escape.
Right. So inspiring.
So this is the proclamation from the Ottawa Carleton District School Board, and it was gifted to me after they adopted the decade.
Oh, this is amazing. What an honor for you, and what an honor for us to have a conversation with you today, June Gervin. I would call you a community activist. I would call you a trailblazer. You are an elder that we all look up to. Thank you so much for joining us today. Be well.
The reason I'm an elder that you look up to me is that you've been there for me to work for. Because if you weren't there for me to work for, then I wouldn't be able to do the things I do.
And we thank you for that.
Hi there. So could you please introduce yourself and just tell us a bit about, who you are and what you've done in life up until this point?
Okay, so
Yeah.
I'm Gloria Anderson.
Mm-hmm.
I came to Canada from Jamaica in 1974, and I've lived most of the time here except for a short time when I studied in London, Ontario, and I worked in Sault Ste. Marie.
Mm-hmm.
I worked as a librarian, so I'm a retired librarian. I worked mainly for the federal government.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So how have you been finding this pandemic? How have you been coping?
I have been coping reasonably well. The hardest part is not being able to get away during the winter.
Yeah.
And this is the second winter that I have to stay here.
Oh, really?
Yes. Last year, I usually go in end of February, early March.
Mm-hmm.
And that's about the time when things change. So
Mm-hmm.
I
You go away
couldn't go.
to Jamaica?
I usually go to Jamaica, yes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So what have you been doing to try and cope with this pandemic?
I've been on Zoom a lot. Yesterday I was
Yeah.
on Wednesday. Wednesday, I was on 5 sessions. Okay.
So you've been on Zoom a lot?
Yes.
Yeah.
Mainly, exercises,
Mm-hmm.
and also my church,
Mm-hmm.
and other churches. I do some Bible study or
Mhm.
other courses, not necessarily Bible study, but support group, like there's a caregivers group. And also we have a prayer shawl. We crochet prayer shawls at my church at Parkdale.
Mhm.
So we get together every other Wednesday and we crochet on Zoom.
Oh,
We talk and
wow.
crochet.
so can you tell us about the programs you're involved in, the Jaku Konbit ones and the Flow Seniors programs?
Okay, I'm not really involved with Flow Seniors,
Mm-hmm.
unless indirectly through Jaku Konbit, but you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, as far as Jaku Konbit is concerned, I do the chair exercise classes on Wednesdays and Fridays.
Mm-hmm.
I listen to the African lectures, and that's why I miss your show on a Saturday, because there's an overlap.
Exactly. It's at 11 o'clock, right? Is that Dr. Ledbetter's
That's
African
right. Yes.
history class?
Yes, but it's very good, so I
Mhm.
enjoy that.
What do you enjoy about it?
Well, okay, some people are doing it for serious studies. For me, it's just knowledge. It's
Mhm.
like I would attend a lecture.
Mhm.
So I just enjoy knowing so much more, like he did a series on shearers, female heroes. And I was, wow, these are great women. And he also spoke about Nanny of the Maroons, who was Jamaican. So
we're losing your face there.
She was on our $500 bill.
Oh, wow.
She is on the $500 bill in Jamaica. So, and Harriet Tubman, but just also some people I didn't know about, because he covers all areas of Africa. So it's fascinating.
What other program do you do besides the history class and the exercises?
Well, when they had the meal program, I got the meals, and in fact, that is how I was introduced to Jaku Konbit, was through the meal program. And then they had like a schedule that was in the bag, and I read it and realized there was a chair exercise class, so I registered. So I discovered by chance.
What does that do for you? Getting these hot meals weekly?
Well, for one thing, I don't have to cook. I mean, so it comes on a Saturday, and there's always enough for 2 meals at least. And so I know, especially weekend, it's a treat, to know that. And as I said to someone, the meal is usually what we'd have as a Sunday dinner in Jamaica. So I save it for the next day and have it as my Sunday dinner, and I don't have to cook Sunday dinner. So, yeah.
That's great. Yeah. So the physical exercises that you attend, how have those been helpful to you?
Oh, very helpful. I have a bad case of scoliosis, and I find it just helps to keep me limber. And also I go for physio, and she gives me homework, so they help me with my homework. I'm supposed to do some exercise before the next session, so I figure, okay, I'm doing the chair exercise today, so I don't need to do the one the physiotherapist gave me. So so it's good. Yeah.
Well, I'm glad, and you look great.
Well, thank you very much. Sorry I didn't get the iPad perfectly, but
no, that's fine, as long as we can hear you and we can see you. And that lovely smile.
Thank you. Thank you, Sarah. It's nice seeing you.
Yeah.
I think one of the hallmarks of African culture and African people, wherever you find them all over the world, whether it's on the continent, whether it's in the Caribbean, whether it's in the United States or in Canada, is our deep affection and our respect for our elders. We see them as pillars in our community. We see them as repositories of knowledge, and we understand the immense responsibility of taking care of them as they get up in advanced age. We see this throughout our history, going back to very ancient times, and we look at all the cultural institutions in Africa, and we see all the different words for elders, the importance of eldership in our various communities. I don't think a greater example of this can be found in the example of our great heroine, Harriet Tubman. We know so much about her and her exploits on the Underground Railroad and as a military expert and a spy during the American Civil War. But her last great work, and she spent a lot of her time doing at the end of her career, the end of her life, was ensuring that African elders that were formerly enslaved and now got freedom enjoyed their remaining years in an environment that was designed to not only take care of them, but also to allow them to pass their wisdom on to others. And that was the Harriet Tubman's home that she built in Auburn, New York, for aged African elders. She called it the John Brown Home. And she went about raising the funds and going around the community and doing everything she needed to do to make sure that that home was built. And once that home was built, she was there working with their elders, making sure that they were comfortable, making sure that they had a place where they could be safe. And I think Jaku Konbit and Flow Seniors, we're all the organizations in this community are doing their best to uphold that tradition of making sure we're not just discarding our elders. We're making sure that they're living active lives, that we're learning from them and their wisdom, and that we're keeping this tradition going on. It's one of the beautiful things about African people.
So, please introduce yourself and tell us who you are, how long you've been living here, whatever you think we should know about you.
Okay, my name is Pearline Morton. I was a healthcare worker for 31 years, Early Reader Veterans Health Center. Took early retirement the end of June 06 and have been keeping myself busy since then. Of course, you know who my relatives are.
A certain someone who anchors the news.
Sister here.
Yes.
And a nephew by my side and married.
Yeah.
And I've been living here for 48 years.
Oh, yeah.
Ottawa. I lived in
Ottawa.
Toronto for 3 months when I first came to Canada, and then moved up to Ottawa after being influenced by some friends.
Oh.
And have been here since then and loving it now. Yes. Yeah.
So how have you been staying active during this pandemic?
Wow. I have been staying active, doing exercises, and I go into the lecture. For example, I was in there today from 11:30 to 12:30. I do the exercise programs on Wednesdays and Fridays. And whenever there's a lecture like Dr. Clyde
Ledbetter.
I listen to one of his
the history class?
One of his little seminars.
Yeah.
I've also gone to most of the health and wellness seminars that they have. Yes. Last year we had one in the spring and one in the fall. So that's all I'm doing with them, like right now, because it's
it's a lot.
Yeah, in between all the programs. If Joanne has something special coming up, then she'll email me. And then I'll, like some evenings, I'll go into that program. They had, Jaku Konbit had one the other day. Mr. Sanford had sent us a link about Africville. Yes. And there was also one with Rex Nettleford.
That was wonderful.
I did that one also.
Wow. Yeah.
So those little lectures and Zoom that I've gone into. This past Saturday night, there was a gospel.
Oh, did you see that concert by the Seventh-day Adventist Church?
I did. This one was with Miller, actually.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
But Shandanette from Jaku Konbit there sent us the link. So I saw a lot of the members on that link as well. So I've been doing little things like those. Anything
community events online?
Yes.
Yeah.
Most of the events online. Yeah.
So the exercise classes that you've taken with Tara, have those been helpful for you?
Oh yes, because I've always been a health and fitness freak anyway. So I have my own weights at home and my ball and band and all that sort of. So it's been helpful. It's inspiring. It enhances us to get up and move, and the companionship. You don't feel so isolated.
Yeah.
And it's a way of communicating and seeing your friends you haven't seen for a while. So, and at the end of each program, sometimes we have little health tips, for each other. Healthy eating, like juices and that sort of thing. Smoothie. Yeah.
That's great. Yeah. Well, thanks a lot for giving us your time.
Yeah.
I'll let you go now. Thanks a lot, Perline.
You're welcome, and
take good care. And hello, and right now I'm going to be talking to Myra. Myra, welcome.
Thank you.
So, Myra, can you just tell us a little bit about yourself, your journey to Ottawa, and what your life has been in Ottawa?
My journey to Ottawa. I came to Ottawa in 1970 in February in the height of winter. Actually, when I got to the airport and I saw the white stuff, I said to my brother, why is there a mall on the street? And he said, no, it's ice. And I boldly said to him, no, people can't drive on ice, so he stopped talking. So at first when I came here, I really didn't want to stay. I wanted to go back home because I find Ottawa was there wasn't too many Black people. It was like a handful of Black people, like Joanne's parents, Mr. and Mrs. McNaughton, Mr. and Mrs. Patterson, just a handful of Black people. So, well, I didn't want to stay, but my brother said if I stayed, I might like it when it gets warmer. So I enrolled in Ridgemount High, and I start going there, and then I leave there and I went to Algonquin and did food handlers course, and then I start working at Island Lodge.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I work.
And what is Island Lodge?
Island Lodge is a seniors nursing home run in the city of Ottawa. It's now called the Gary Armstrong Center.
Okay.
Yeah.
So how long did you work there?
33 years.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you didn't work anywhere else. You worked in the one same place.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. So now that you've been retired, how do you stay active? And especially with COVID-19, with this pandemic, how do you stay active and engaged?
Well, at first, when I retired, I volunteer with the Jamaica Ottawa Community Association, and I volunteer with Joanne wherever she drags me. Flow Seniors. Then it wasn't Flow Seniors yet, but it was with Joanne. So I volunteer with the Trinidad and Tobago Association. I volunteer with Black History Ottawa and Cultural Arts Studio. I used to go to Teacher Suzanne. We had dancing lesson every Saturday. So I did that, and then when COVID came around, through Flow Seniors, I found out that there was things going on at Bronson Center, so I enrolled in that. So I start doing those things at Bronson Center.
So what activities specifically at the Bronson Center?
Yoga, let's chat, exercise, and on Thursday we have music, live music stream.
Mm-hmm.
And then on Saturday morning, Professor Ledbetter doing the history classes.
Mm-hmm. So
yeah.
What are your favorite classes that you've taken during the pandemic?
All of them.
Yeah. So what has been the benefit for you?
Because it keeps me motivated and active, because now I have a plan from each day. Mm-hmm. I know exactly, what I'm going to do each day and what time. Instead of the day just whirl away, I have a plan. Each day there's something to do.
Mm-hmm. So it gives your day some structure?
Yeah, give my day some structure.
Mm-hmm. And have the exercise classes been beneficial to you?
Yes, it keeps me moving.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and then there's Fit Fed on Tuesday evening.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so keeps the body moving instead of just sitting down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So good for you. Keep staying active and staying engaged. Thank you.
Thank you.
Please introduce yourself and tell us a little bit just generally about yourself and then what you do with your organization.
Okay, I'm Hector Addison. I come from Ghana. I've been in Canada here since 2007. I think I first landed from US and then we lived in Mississauga. And then we moved to Ottawa here in 2011. Yeah, and then I went to work with Somerset West. I taught 1 year at Carleton University African Studies program. I went to work at Somerset West Community Health Center as a project manager for African, Caribbean, and the Black HIV program and community development program. Yeah, so that's just a little bit about me. And then during that time, I was in Somerset, and I realized that the Black community, if you really want to get ahead, we need to come together of a sort. So I realized that we have splintered organizations all over the place. And I said, okay, why don't we bring all of them together? We now have 53 African communities all as an umbrella organization and the African Canadian Association of Ottawa. We also partner with so many organizations. Like as I said, I sit on the Police Equity Council, and I represent ACAO there, right? We also work with the Ottawa Hospital Research Institute, right? Especially about the pandemic research and how it has impacted our community disproportionately, right? So, and then so many other initiatives that we also join.
Can we go back to that? The impact of this pandemic on our Black community. What have you seen? What has ACAO seen on the ground?
It's been very devastating, very, very devastating. I can tell you some of the calls that I get. Some people are virtually crying on the phone. It's very, very devastating. It has impacted our community in a way nobody imagined, right? So, it's basically what happens to us, sort of a push to the fore some of the problems that we already had in the community. Some of us we already knew, right? So, but the COVID sort of removed veil for people to see. That's huge.
So, tell us about what programming or services you've been offering to Black seniors in particular.
Yeah, so Black seniors, some of them we initially when we realized that the pandemic was so huge, we joined forces with other organizations to sort of give rights and then pick up medications for our seniors. And later on, we got some grant from Red Cross to do our relief food. And then what I've seen that most of the people who apply for the relief stuff, they are seniors. Sometimes they are living alone and they have nobody. One of the ladies that was interviewed, I think she's from Caribbean, I think Jamaica or so. She was interviewed for some of the projects that we CBC did an interview on. And she said she lives alone. She's disabled, right? And she lives alone. And so the food really helped her. And we have a lot of stories to tell about how the food has helped some people. And then we work in conjunction with Jaku Konbit. We also joined forces with Flow Seniors and other I think Caribbean to do mental health stuff that we did in the early years, and we talked about I think early years of the pandemic, and we talked we talked about online dating, which was very for the seniors. Online dating, we have people talking about it. It was really good, especially when the facilitators will ask the seniors to get up and stretch and do exercise like they are boxing. It was very interesting, right? So I think we need more of those stuff. We need more of those stuff, and it requires funding.
Well, thanks a lot, Hector, for the work that you do with John and the whole ACAO team, and everything you provide for seniors, especially the vulnerable seniors. Thanks, Hector. Please introduce yourself and tell us just generally who you are, and then tell us about your organization and the services you offer.
My name is John Adeyefa. I'm a Canadian citizen with a Nigerian background. I was born in Nigeria and I've been living in Canada, in Ottawa, since more than 40 years, in the 70s, I would say. Mm-hmm. I'm currently the president of the African Canadian Association in Ottawa. Before then, I've been the president of the Nigerian Canadian Association, which I was for almost 9 years. Before then, I was also the provost of the Nigerian in Diaspora organization. The African Canadian Association is the umbrella association of all the African descent community association in the Canada National Capital Region. We are the hub supporting and linking our community through their country, region, and ethnic tribal leaders to various needed services in the region. Mm-hmm. We have so many services.
Yeah, so tell us about the just generally the programs and services you offer, and then specifically the ones that are offered to seniors, elders, and their families.
Thank you so much. African Canadian Association partnered with several credible organizations like community health centers across the National Capital Region. We have Newcomers Health Centers. We have the Ottawa Black Mental Health Coalition, which we are part of. We partner with the Ottawa Police Services through the Community Equity Center. We also have the faith-based organizations, several school boards in the city, social services, and a refugee service organization called Refugee 613. We also serve as a consultant with Community Wellbeing and Safety Council. We work with all the municipal, provincial, federal government on policies, budgets, and so on. We also deliver health and well-being seminars through a coalition called the African Caribbean Canadian Coalition, with several leaders of the Caribbean and the African community. We provide all this to everybody, especially the senior citizens.
Mm-hmm. So specifically, what do you offer seniors?
Regularly, we have this seminar, which is organized by leaders of the African and the Caribbean, called the ACC Coalition. We offer issues that's relating to seniors. For example, our health, how to be healthy, how to do normal, how to be fit, information about our heart, information about general well-being. We provide this regularly, almost every few months, to the community. Mm-hmm. And we provide during this COVID period delivery of grocery, food, and items to the needy, because most of our community elders, they've been stuck in the house. They've been in the house for so long, and they feel they want someone to talk to. When we are delivering these services to them, they are so happy to see somebody, to talk to somebody, to be active, which is something in our community we need to interact. We are social animals that we need to work with each other, socialize with each other.
Well, thank you very much, John, for the work that Akao is doing for our seniors, especially our African seniors. And continue, keep up the good work.
Thank you so much, Sarah, for your time that you've been using in providing for our community all these years. Thank you. We appreciate it.
Thanks, John. Thanks.
Bye-bye.
Hello, and my name is Georgette. Tell me about yourself and your work with the Ottawa Black Business Alliance and Entrepreneurs of Ottawa and Gatineau.
Thank you, Georgette, for having me. My name is Luke Termonville. I've been in Ottawa for the last 40 years, and 5 years ago, we decided to open an organization called the Ottawa Black Business Alliance. This organization was tailoring for the entrepreneur of the Ottawa and Gatineau. So what we're trying to do is to provide the technology, the tools, and all the equipment that the entrepreneur need here in Ottawa to succeed. In 4 years, we've been able to work with a lot of organizations here in Ottawa. And from the Ottawa Black Business Alliance, we're able to create a different stream. There's a stream we have called BIA Media. The BIA Media is pretty focused to provide a solution as a media to the Ottawa community.
Excellent, that's wonderful. In particular, how has the COVID pandemic impacted the delivery of the services that you provide to the Black community?
You know what, Georgia, that's a good question. I can say I've been lucky because 4 years ago when I started my business here, there was a lot of people was looking at us. Since COVID, because we are applying a lot of the technology to help businesses and things, the business went booming. Is COVID, I can say, is a good thing for me. Because the way that doing business is not the traditional way like before. People using more technology online and things like that. So it's been 4 years, we've been trying to adapt that technology for the community, and COVID hit, and now we're so busy. We're working with all the communities. We're able to produce the whole Black History Month, a lot of events for other community. So COVID has been good for us, but that's a sad thing that we cannot go out. We cannot see people to really talk. I mean, so far, I cannot complain.
That's fair, and that's very true. And why is it important for you to participate and do the work that you do?
I think it's a good question. It's very important, I think, we involve in our community, especially me with my 25 years of experience working at the government, doing a lot of projects for government, and also having my business restaurant before, and a lot of things. I think for me, I think it's time to give back to the community. I mean, I was lucky to learn a lot. I think I have a lot to give back to the community. This is where, for me, that was very important to come back and give to the community. Because the community we have, they're so passionate, and there's a lot of people with talent. The community is rich. So I think for me, giving that little help would be able to move the community forward and succeed and having a good community here in Ottawa and Gatineau.
Well, thank you so much for your time today, and we really appreciate your insights. Have a great day.
Thank you, Georgette.
Jaku Konbit and Flows Seniors are two well-respected organizations here in Ottawa's Black community. These organizations are collaborating to bring valuable programs and services for Black seniors through the Ottawa Black Seniors Virtual Living Network, with support from the province of Ontario. The Ottawa Black Seniors Virtual Active Living Network project builds upon the established track record of leadership knowledge, program excellence, and good stewardship of Jaku Konbit and Flows Seniors. Both organizations have been actively involved in the enhanced needs of Black seniors during the COVID-19 pandemic. And it is my pleasure to welcome Sarah Onyango. Hi, Sarah, how are you today?
Hi, Denise, I'm well.
Sarah, for those that may not know you, can you tell us, who are you? What is your role within Black History Ottawa?
Well, I'm a volunteer board member, and I coordinate everything that has to do with public relations, media relations, and community outreach. So getting out into the community and in front of media to tell people about the work that Black History Ottawa is doing, about our projects, and just, making sure that what we're doing is documented and known.
Yes, yes. And Sarah, tell us about the organization. How long has Black History Ottawa been in existence? And tell us a little bit about its objective.
Well, Black History Ottawa has been in existence since 1986. I've been part of Black History Ottawa since 1993, actually. And so the objective really is to showcase, document, and really just consistently highlight the contributions and the history of persons of African descent, not just in Canada, but in the diaspora as well. But in recent years, we've focused more on the Canadian aspect. We also partner with other organizations for initiatives around mentorship, leadership, anything to do with seniors, health, and that sort of thing. We also partner with the Ottawa Public Library. We have an event that promotes literacy through storytelling and reading the children's stories that we have every Black History Month. But we are most known for is the coordination of the launch, the City of Ottawa launch of Black History Month at the end of January every year. That's what people know us for. And recently we've added Emancipation Day as well. Last year we did Remembrance Day. We did a virtual Remembrance Day commemoration as well.
Yes,
So,
yes.
and then of course, in between all of that, we're doing presentations to different organizations and groups.
Hi, thank you for joining us today. I'd like to ask you a few questions about your experiences and, what's to know as it relates to Toronto and seniors and what's going on over there. So before we begin, if I could just ask both of you to introduce yourselves.
I'm Andrea Bryan. I live and work in the Malvern community in Toronto, Scarborough. I've been a member of this community for many years. I've worked on the ground in the community and with different ethno-specific groups, different issue-based groups, and also in the nonprofit sector.
And yourself, Marguerite?
Absolutely. Well, I've lived in Toronto most of my life, and I'm also a Scarborough girl, although I no longer live there. I grew up in Scarborough. I live in North York, in an area that is very ethno-diverse, but not like Black community diverse at all. Okay, so we're kind of a lone little island here in our in our community. And as we were saying just before this interview started, if you are not connected into a community that has access to these services, you'll never even know about them, never mind access them. So it's quite interesting. We're looking forward to having this conversation with you today.
Absolutely. Thank you both for your introductions. And so as it relates to these networks, what are some of the things that you can tell us about, let's say, the Black senior experience and those networks in the Toronto area, be it Toronto specifically or in the Greater Toronto area?
There is a lot of informal groups, and that I think that's just general across all groups, across all ethnic groups and all age groups. There's lots of informal groups. And what tends to happen is that they get lost. They either grow into becoming something official, and they align themselves with other types of nonprofit organizations or networks to build and continue to grow. Some of them stay small, and some of them to continue to grow, but you see them connecting to either out here are mall walkers and our little groups of seniors that organically organized are now connecting with the agencies to look at how they can support them to bring in other types of services, health services, and other things that they're doing. So a lot of them are under the radar unless you know the community, you're connected to the community, you don't really know them. Or if you're connected to a church, then you get to know also what's happened. So it's about the challenge with this, with seniors being isolated, is that the connectivity and the social connections are what helps to help them survive and thrive. But what you're finding is that a lot of them are falling through the gaps, I think primarily because of just the way they have probably come to the country, the way that their lifestyle is. So they've become disconnected over the years, and also through movement and the migration of seniors and others across the city.
I'll say that, and what I will add is that although there are, and so I agree with you 100%, Andrea, this is a very complex city, as you know, and growing and changing in front of our very eyes. Yep. So where seniors used to be maybe in more of a community that was more,
gelled together, perhaps?
Gelled together, yeah, that is no longer the case because of immigration. So even in the Malvern community, which you used to go to as a Black community, is not really like that anymore. It's only maybe 50% or 40% like that. And there's these huge waves of immigration coming through the city. So our communities are also they're moving. So I'll add on that. And then our community organizations are small, and they are just dealing with their own members. So I know that the JCA, for example, the Jamaica Canadian Association, does and has been doing work with seniors, Black seniors, for a long time. But if you are, number one, not Jamaican, number two, not part of the association or know about it, like my mother's Jamaican, and my aunt, my uncle, everybody's Jamaican, but they've never participated in any JCA activity, so they would not even know that it exists, never mind participate in it. Right? And so everybody from now that we have immigration coming, and depends on what you mean by Black too, from all four corners of the earth. Now, if you have newer immigrants coming as opposed to the older ones who have been here from before, those two people groups do not talk really at all. Okay, if you're coming from the continent, it's like a foreign language to talk to people, so they are not going to be mixing. At least I haven't seen them mixing. So people are going to stay in their ethno communities for their own services, usually pulled together by faith communities. And so the churches are doing their thing. I don't think they're doing a good job, but hey, it's just me. From what little I know of some of the churches that are out there, they all have senior services. They all do things specifically for seniors. So there is some of that. And they all have sort of pulled a little, taken up some of the slack over COVID. Yep. So they're doing grocery shopping, they're checking in on the seniors and so on. And that's good. But outside of their own little network, I'm not sure what else they have done.
Right.
Outside of their, church networks. And so, without knowing every single church and what every church is doing, I'll have to tell you the ones that I do know haven't really been outreaching to the broader community.
Yep.
Although there might have been others that are. So there you go. I don't know. And again, because it's so big and because it's so ethno-specific and because it's fragmented everywhere. Is the Nigerian community doing something? Yes, they are actually. And we'll never know about it, by the way, because
right.
They don't advertise to people who are not from, if you're from Ghana, they're not inviting you to their event, okay? That is for their people. And that is an interesting piece of this that we have been learning more broadly. And I think this stems right across all programming, not only for seniors, that this is, it's not an issue, but it's a reality of how things are moving. So when we say Black, we don't really, it's not one thing.
No, it's not a monolithic type of identifier.
Not even close to being that.
Yep.
And we see it fragmenting further and further. It's not coming together.
Yes. Well, I would like to thank the both of you today for our interview. It's been a pleasure speaking with you both, and I've learned of quite a bit, and I'm very happy and very pleased with all this information because it's important to know. And again, as two key informants in this, I would say, COVID pandemic, Black seniors, it's been really insightful. So I'd like to thank you both for your time today.
You're welcome.
Our pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for joining us. And we'd like to thank in particular the Government of Ontario, Jaku Konbit, Flow Seniors, and all the individuals that were part of this particular project. In conclusion, we'd like to thank the interviewers as well as interviewees with sharing their experiences and the things that they've had to accommodate and do during this global pandemic. This particular project, again, was very focused on the experiences of Black seniors and their virtual activities during this time. These virtual activities encompassed everything from online meeting groups, song, music, socializing, emergency preparedness, ensuring that there's access to resources ready and available, as well as call lines and support groups, as well as religious activities online. We also worked hand in hand with a lot of organizations here in the Ottawa National Capital Region, and we'd like to thank them for their time and their supports and their services. Further to this particular project, we have created an online database that will be live up and running on both Jaku Konbit as well as Flow Seniors website, and I'll show you there now. As you can see, we have here a list of various organizations that provide programs that is categorized by organizations, website, the program name, program social media, as well as a description of the various things that the programs provide. This list can be found, as I said, on the previous websites. It will encompass just a list of the different activities that are available, supports and services, as well as the location within Ontario. Thank you very much.